Welcome to Stitch and Bitch, everyone. My name is Tyler. I will be your host tonight, as every night. I am doing that position. Uh, Stitch and Bitch is a show so unimportant, the United States government gave it $2 billion to stay alive. Tonight we have Bridget Cosgrove on to talk about her character, Clickwhistle Bird Person, rogue unextraordinaire. And joining me in the co-host position is Jackie Sapolsky, our, I don't know, resident Jewish person? Is that Judaism, Judaic or
expert.
Judaic?
Yeah. You tried.
I mean, you know, I feel like it's true though. I feel like that's our.
I mean, until we get another one.
True. It's like not,
until we get another Jewish person on.
It's not wrong. Technically, it's not wrong.
Mm-hmm. I want to pass it over to you two. What are you two working on tonight? What do you got for me, Bridget?
I got us a whole Clickwhistle Bird Person.
That seems like it's going to be a lot of fun to do.
It's going to be a lot of work to do. She has so many feathers. What you got?
Superman.
Yay!
I'm gonna color Superman, and really, however many other Justice League characters it can fill the Stitch and Bitch time.
Yeah, that looks like a new 52 assortment of people.
It's possible. It doesn't say, but
it really with the way the Superman looked, it looked like it anyway. It was. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you're the expert.
I'm not.
I'm just the Jew, so it's fine.
All right. Well, everybody, she can say it, right? Like she gets to, she can say it. That's fine.
God.
Oh my God.
So privileged.
And also Superman. Yeah, I mean, it's good that you're coloring Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
As the resident Jewish person, you should. Yeah, that's certainly how you should.
Well, this show is not about me, but one of the guys.
The show's not about anybody.
Well, it's about Bridget today, but one of the guys who has either written or illustrated, I can't remember correctly, DC Comics, his last name is Sapolsky, just spelled differently, and it's like not like the correct Polish way, but it's like the original Polish.
SE. Yours is SE, correct?
Mine is SKY, and his was SKI, and the I is technically the actual Polish spelling. Mine is the Americanized version of it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah, so I basically own part of DC.
That's the same thing for us. That's the same thing for us on in Ankenman, is that like the usual German pronunciation has two N's on the end. So it's like, all right. I have third cousins who have the two N's. Anyway, so let's start off. I already see a very fun audience question from our own Miles Newbirth, which is basically to just say, so Bridget, why you be assassin?
Why the assassin though?
Well, yeah. Why was that the first choice for you? In terms of like there's so many different choices in the subclasses of rogue. They're like fighter. They have so many. Why assassin?
Honestly, because I knew that I was playing a character who flies, and it hasn't happened for me yet. But one day I want to just like surprise bitch someone from the sky, like just totally surprise assassinate.
I think you'd have to like actually put a tactic in place for that to happen, though. You're saying it as if you haven't had opportunities to do this thing.
I never surprise anybody though. Like that's the thing. It's like, oh.
Yeah, because you walk into a room and you say, "Hi, my name is Clickwhistle Bird Person. I'd like to steal from you, please."
Hey, you killed my father. Prepare to die
tonight. All right. No, but that's the thing. That's like actually. Honestly, I think it's kind of part of Clickwhistle's charm, how bad of a rogue that she is.
Like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I kind of love the fact, like, you expect this, like, sneaky-ass assassin bird who's, like, could melt into the shadows and stuff. And it's like, I think
you have asked several times, can I melt into the shadows?
It is.
And the dice usually don't allow you to melt into the shadows.
Normally not. Yeah, the dice. A bad D&D person blames their dice, but I will partially blame the dice for
No,
some
like
of
you,
my
yeah,
antics,
you certainly haven't had
'cause
the
I just
best
don't
luck.
roll good sometimes.
I think
Sometimes I
my
just don't roll
favorite
good.
I think my favorite, like, I'm a rogue, so I'm gonna go do this moment, and then it completely failing was when you fell through the butcher shop because
Oh
you
my
were like,
god.
I'm Dexy, and I'm like, so am I. But you
Yeah.
know what? You
was
go
like,
ahead, girl. I was like, you go ahead. You do that.
I was like, not dexier than the assassin, and then immediately fell through.
Well, I
Silly.
suppose that's what also is funny is the idea that like, well, what you're talking about, right? Is that it's like you want to surprise attack somebody. Well, you have the opportunity. You know, you just like I think if here's my polite and constructive criticism. If you thought, I think if you think a little bit more about your positioning and the fact that you can fly, you might surprise more people.
If you think about the fact that you, in fact, have wings, and it's
Yeah.
one of the only things that you
Yeah.
have,
It's
and maybe, just
but also
maybe,
just like the tactics
surprise a
of
couple more people.
you know, actual infiltration.
Yeah.
You
But
might
I don't
find
know.
some more success in surprise killing people.
In surprise killing people, I still do pretty good at killing people
Yeah.
when they see me coming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To be fair, like.
Also,
But honestly,
Miles
is the joy
Miles is saying that battle mats would help with this, and I do agree. Like being able to
Very much
visualize
so.
an
I
entire
don't know where the
structure
fuck I
is
am most of the
right,
time.
right. So I can understand why it's tough, but you know, I'm actually realizing too, like so much of my prep that I usually do, I'm like, I guess I should focus a little bit less on some of these other things when we go into a theater of the mind. Like, yeah, the ship is 30 feet away from you, and I have to repeat 4 times that the ship is 30 feet away from you, meaning
Right.
any of your abilities that say more than 30 feet could probably be used.
Right.
So anyway,
Right. That's
the point is, you chose assassin because you thought it was going to be fun.
I chose, yeah, exactly. Well, and that was my whole point with building Clickwhistle at all. Like I started with the name Clickwhistle Bird Person because it made me laugh, and like, and then I picked the Aarakocra because I thought it would be fun to be able to fly, and like I picked assassin because I thought it was going to help with that, but I think I picked assassin because I thought this character was going to be good at being a rogue, but I ended up just having this character who is good at rogue stuff sometimes. Is good at rogue stuff, but like is bad at being a rogue herself. And
She doesn't have the yeah, I
yeah,
get you.
it's like she has the aptitude. Like she's good at it.
She has the physical properties that you know that
that
will
are good at
that are
it.
necessary. She just
But
doesn't
it's
have
just
the mental
the
focus.
poise, the subtlety. It's just the subtlety issue.
Sure.
She's about as subtle as, you know, a falling piano. But I mean, and I think that kind of makes her like a assassin more fun. I like a juxtaposition in my characters
Sure.
a lot.
Sure.
plus then it makes it so much more fun when she succeeds.
Oh my god. And that's the thing. It's like, because when the successes actually go through, it's like, oh, thank God. Because that doesn't happen a lot.
I feel
thank
that.
God. Dude. It's just every now and again, like I roll really high on like stupid stuff. Like it's always like, you're going down a banister or you're looking around a corner. There's no one there, but you're looking like 19 points worth of looking around that corner.
Well,
Do
you think that also do you think that also speaks to like her impulsiveness? Like, do you find that Clickwhistle is impulsive, or do you find that you yourself are impulsive and just allow that energy into this character because it's like, well, it follows a similar logic. It's like it's not like, I guess that's my question. There it is. Did you intentionally make her impulsive?
Or am I impulsive and it rubs off? I intentionally made her impulsive because I myself am not very impulsive. I'm a person who worries about everything, like people, things that aren't there, things that are there, things that could be there, things that were once there. Like I
Mhm.
worry about everything, and I like my brain is always trying to see the right answer, and I wanted to get a break from that. And Clickwhistle gets the answer wrong a lot of the time, and I think
Sure. Do you
and I
think do
think
you think that if she took a little bit more time, like, do you think if she took a little bit more time, she might find the right answer?
possibly, but she doesn't have time for that. Like I like
Well,
her,
I find it interesting because Clickwhistle asks so many questions.
I know.
She,
And
but no, but
I'm
that's
trying to stop.
disparate.
I'm
That's
trying to stop
disparate
doing
then.
it. I'm trying to stop doing it. That's where Bridget leaks out. Bridget wants to know. Clickwhistle doesn't care. Like
But
that's the thing.
has being impulsive as Clickwhistle helped Bridget become a little more impulsive, or are you still?
I think it's made me be a little bit more okay with the consequences of
Mhm.
being impulsive. I think it's yeah, like a lot of the whole sequence of trying to break into Barlow Vitagon's house and getting arrested again.
Spoiler, I'm not even there yet.
I've been there. It was like I haven't watched that episode. But that whole thing with like trying to go into Barlow Vitagon's house and doubling down and failing and doubling down and failing and doubling down and failing, it was kind of a really fun sort of thought exercise
Sure.
because I wanted to get out of there, but I felt like Clickwhistle didn't and wouldn't. But yeah, the question.
No, it's one of my it's one of my favorite moments. It's certainly decisive. It sets the. It's one of those things where like we can talk about the difference between, like sometimes the failures are more fun. And I guess that's the thing, is that it's like there are just things that like have to that are considered when you're playing these things, and it is certainly something where like a slightly more bumbling slash, like you say, like an impulsive rogue is certainly not the norm, and so it is a little bit more fun to interact with that. But I suppose from a DM standpoint, there are times where I wish that would go your way a little bit more.
Me too, man.
But like I really don't care that much.
Right, of course not. Like, right, because like, but then you would be DM if that happened. But no, like, yeah, I would love just once for Clickwhistle to have her Jack Sparrow moment,
right?
Where they're just like,
well, it kind of happened. Like you messed up the Barlow thing, not the Barlow thing, but like you messed up at the beginning of your interaction with Thaddeus Sprague, but then the rest of it actually ended out fairly on top. So it was like, you did a couple of things. Well,
I just did it the wrong way.
I don't know if I would go as far to say as I got what I came for, when what you came to do was do reconnaissance, and what you ended up doing was going into the shop, talking to the person who you needed to subtly not talk to, as well as just so many things about that decision is like not even just impulsive. It's just like, this just seems like it wasn't.
It's fucking chaos, man. Like, chaos does not rest. Chaos.
But it was.
It's true.
But it was on brand. It was on brand for Clickwhistle.
It's so on brand. Like, that's the thing. It's like she is an agent of chaos a little bit, and like trying to play an agent of chaos, it sometimes does get a little too like questioning on Bridget's part, because I don't want her to die. But like,
well, I think it's about you got like what I would say is like sometimes it's about the balance, right? Like when we go into chaotic characters, I actually just a friend told me that he's about to play in a game where they're not going to allow chaotic alignments or evil alignments, and that to me is weird. that's so weird
Yeah.
to me, because basically what I would say is that, like, yeah, when you go into chaotic elements, it's more about the freedom, right? It's more about
Mhm.
it's about personal freedom. It's about the idea that, like, well, I can't, I don't, it's not about not following the rules necessarily, or like having to break them, but it is just more of like chaotic alignments, or just like chaotic people seem to maybe dwell more in the realm of like, I'm flying by the seat of my pants and I'm making this up as I go. And that's their, that's the bread and butter of a chaotic element. And so it's like, yeah, that's certainly what Clickwhistle adds
Yeah.
to the party, is a feeling of
Of less control.
unsure about the destination.
Really hoping
Ooh.
that someone else will figure it out. But for now,
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one of us do you think is going to figure it out?
Anybody but me.
Probably Nameless. Nameless will
Probably
probably, Nameless is pretty
yeah.
together.
Or honestly, like every day, like Philip does do like the, well, why don't we do this? And it's just like the simplest, most elegant solution,
Right.
right?
Sure.
Sometimes.
Miles is just said something to me that I feel like is very disagreeable. Fuck you, Miles.
What
Yeah.
happened?
Oh, he
What'd
said
he say?
he said, yeah, Tyler, encourage our group to take longer to make decisions. And I'm like,
Oh.
listen, I'm not telling you to take
true.
longer. I want decisive action, but I want better lines of thinking. I want more direct lines of thinking, and I just want better tactics.
You can either have good tactics or you can have fast tactics. There is nothing in between.
But also the problem is when something is described so beautifully for so long, it seems like it's important. And it's I'm not judging you whatsoever, Tyler. Like,
It doesn't
please
seem like a
continue with
judgment.
the beautiful please continue with the beautiful word pictures, but like when you're like the medallion that sits atop this beautiful fireplace as the fire glows in the light and the sun shines through the window and hits the medallion as it glistens and creates a
the
butterfly
medallion's
effect.
underground. It's a Newland car, so there's no
Like,
sunlight.
I'm gonna be like, tell me.
Yeah, sure.
We're gonna be like, tell us about this beautiful ass medallion. I want to know.
Yeah.
So
just be like, you gotta go
yeah,
to this place.
all
It
right.
looks all right. How you getting there? I'll be like, yeah, I'll walk. I got 45
But
feet.
I want it. But that's not a story. That's not a story. Having you go like, yeah, I guess I'll go do that. How interesting is that? No, I'm gonna keep
Here's
the
the
way I'm
thing.
doing
I can
it,
make
and you're gonna
anything
keep doing. Oh, okay.
Thank you,
I want-
Ame. Ame just said that Tyler has such high expectations from a bird person. I mean, we're like, birds aren't dumb, but we make snap decisions. It's what we
Look,
do.
okay, so here's the thing. When you gave the character concept to me, Clickwhistle had more of a big badass assassin. Big badass assassin. 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 Right?
Badassin.
Badassin. And you then have played it so differently that I enjoy more.
I was gonna say, I was like, dude,
But this idea that I have such high expectations from a bird person is like, no, I was told a very different character concept. So my high expectations happen to do more with what I had been given originally rather than what is presented.
rather than what I got, which is a screaming bird disaster.
Which is fine. Also,
I love my screaming bird disaster.
I mean,
though.
like, she's from a different culture. I don't expect that much from her.
Yeah, that has been one really fun thing, because like every time I make a reference that is not
Sure.
in this world, getting to blame it on a different thing is a nice fun little.
Well, yeah, it's like desert
and I'm sure
spaghetti,
knows-
right? It's like desert food.
Desert food is the best.
But
I want desert for dessert.
why were you told that technically in Eric Cochran, or like did you pick a creature that wasn't, or
You're talking
like,
about in Lorethia, right? You're saying like, did you?
Yeah.
Did
like
you
in Lorethia, did you choose a character that wasn't necessarily native to that world on purpose? Like, did you know about the world before you created Clickwhistle, or did you you were like, I really want to play a bird, like what you said, you wanted to play a bird because you wanted to fly and kill someone, so you're like, great. Or did it kind of like be like, I want to be someone from somewhere else that's foreign to all these people, let's go?
Clickwhistle was the first character I ever made. So she has been my intro to D&D. So I didn't know if Aarakocrans existed in this world or not. So I picked one. I picked an Aarakocran because I definitely didn't want to be something that was humanoid more than like something that was out of this world. Like I really wanted to play something that is the farthest possible point away from me.
But
physically for
she
sure.
still had to be a raven, apparently. And that's super far away from your sensibilities, of course.
I like a goth aesthetic, but my
Yeah, that's not Bridget's.
Yeah.
Called out, drag her.
Like,
yeah.
what you goth ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did want it to be a raven because I think ravens are cool. But like she is so very, very far away from me as a person.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked Aarakocran. Cause I don't know, it seemed fun. The name was super fun, and like I personally actually don't like birds very much in real life. Honestly, I don't. They kind of, I don't know, they just freak me out.
That's why I picked to be a snake person, because I hate snakes.
Really? Because you're scared of snakes?
I mean, that's also, I think Chelsea has said that's why Spider-Me even exists, right? Like, it's
oh my god, we all did the same thing.
Yeah.
Aw. Girls. The girls. But yeah, no, like that's why I picked Aarakocran, and it's been really nice though to be someone with like a completely different history and like, you know, a completely different world in which she lives. So like everything in this world that I already recognize is super new to her.
Sure.
And I like discovering everyday things, you know? Like I like not having a lot of context for stuff, so like I can't take things for granted. If anybody could like used an idiom every now and again, like I think she wouldn't get idioms and stuff like that. So yeah, I liked the idea of being completely different.
And I hate Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Why are we doing Peter Pan?
Because you were just saying I hate this, and then Miles also said I hate handsome, intelligent young men. Whoa.
With one eye. He hates them with one eye.
Artificers,
I mean, sure. No, I mean, there's you know, it's one of those things that like this is another question I'm going to start asking as we get out of, you know, once we start getting into having guests recycled. Is the idea of like, so you've been playing Clickwhistle now for 30 episodes. What do you think you would, if you could change things, like if you could change directories or change characters, what do you think you would try to transfer into? Like what would be like if you decided to keep playing Clickwhistle, what are you hoping is her trajectory, or like what would you change about that trajectory given these 30 episodes that you've been playing and getting more comfortable with it? And then / if you were to play another character in this same world, what would you probably try to play?
What would I try to play?
And I really want to know the answer, but I'm about to go get a Kit Kat, so you know, like, just talk.
So vamp for a little while.
So I get to know the answer.
Yeah, only Jackie knows the answer.
Or we could just talk some crap, and he'll never know.
That's true, and then we can be like, well, that's the answer to that. Don't tell him, chat. That is a good question, though.
Oh, it is?
Like, it's a good question, because, like, I think I would like to try a magic user if I had to pivot into a new character. Again, just because it's different from Clickwhistle, because she's all body yaddy yaddy. But I think yeah, like maybe like a cleric or like or honestly like some sort of like super lawful good like paladin type, like something that is like just very by the book, by the rules. But I think maybe a cleric. I think clerics
What's a
are cool.
cleric?
Yeah, no. Who has clerics? What's a cleric?
Not
yeah,
us.
not us. That's for damn sure. That's true. Yeah, like maybe instead of stabbing everybody, she'd heal people. As far as her trajectory goes, it's still a little open for me right now. I'm not, I don't have like a hard and fast sort of thing. She's sort of like a drifty type of character.
Well, do you think that like being with this group of people has constituted to in herself like this idea that like I don't have to go, like, does she even want to go home anymore, right? Like, this is not something you have to answer here, but like I just mean like because you can bring it up in the game. If it's more interesting,
Write it on
to
an
bring it up in
envelope.
the game. Yeah,
red paint.
Make sure to put OK on one side.
Yeah. Okay on one side and then red paint on the other. That's
But
how you know
yeah, right? Like is that something that comes into this too? Is just like this idea that like this group of people have given her, because that was something we learned from like Miles was like, well, I think it was Miles when he was talking about Liam, right? Like where it's just sort of like, or even other people, just like with Setlali, is that it's like, at what point is this going to be a thing where are people going to split up? Is this just like a new family of people? It would be so interesting to me to see where this trajectory is. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry. I prolonged my question, but I just mean to.
He vamped so you could go get a Kit Kat.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, they're good. They're good Kit Kats.
I missed my Kit Kat time. My Kit Kat window is officially closed. Yeah, I think she still thinks that going home is not an option. Cause like the reason why she was thrown to Earth is basically like to die upon the Earth and never come back to the plane of air. And it's like, she fucked up big, man. And
yeah, that one time.
At band camp, it was terrible.
Every other time, it's almost like this happens a lot. But no, I think she thinks it's not an option. But like, I think this group of people has definitely changed her trajectory personally, because like she wasn't expecting to like other people as much as she likes these people, and she really doesn't want these people in particular to die. And like I think that I think that's, for her, this is family. For her I think if it started to break up, she'd be resistant to the idea.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So kill everybody.
So if you kill everyone, she'll go insane.
Sounds good.
She'll go insane and she'll be even more unhinged than she already is.
Sounds good to me.
Oh boy.
A tornado of murder and black feathers.
Whew. I'd love to see it. I'd pay to see that movie.
Tornado.
What movie?
That movie where she yeah.
That tornado? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We just got to get Bill Paxton. I think he was in that.
You saw Twister. Now see the sequel. That tornado.
Now watch this bird spin around with some
Bill
knives.
Paxton, or was it Christian Slater? Or was Christian Slater in Contact?
Twister?
Christian Slater was in Contact.
I mean, I could look it up.
That is true. We do have the internet in our hands.
I knew I shouldn't have turned my computer off. There was going to be an internet searching portion.
Chris just told me it's Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Good reference.
I mean, it's
Successful reference.
Like,
I mean,
I was like, good in quotes,
It's a
Oh.
reference. It's a reference.
Yeah.
But,
And we made it.
So, which leads me to my next question. DuckTales.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Have you watched it?
I have watched exactly one episode of DuckTales. Oh.
That's good though.
And
That's better than none.
What is that one episode?
It was the one, the new one. There was like an extra like little duck in the house as well, and she was like, "I want to go on an adventure."
So you watched the
pilot. They go on an adventure with the pilot duck, and then the David Tennant duck was like, "You kind of do that," and so he went to, and then they did an adventure, and then they came back and looked at his big pile of gold. DuckTales. Woo!
That's the pilot.
Yeah.
That's the pilot.
You watched the pilot of the new series.
Yeah, I did. And that's the one. That's all I got. And that is literally all I have taken from it, unfortunately.
Nice.
I'm sure it's a masterwork. Ooh.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that I've cried a couple times, but I will say that I've cried a couple
Just from
times.
the pilot alone. Just from the pilot alone.
Well, I watched the first 4 episodes out of
I'm a
order because
pilot.
Disney Plus put them on out of order.
Yeah.
So when the pilot episode came, I was like, I already know all this. Why? What are these flashbacks?
Yeah. Oh no.
My
They
favorite
were not.
is still the moon theme
up.
thing. That's so good. Anyway, thank you, Miles. Thank you, Miles.
Boom, boom.
I thought Launchpad was the pilot. I'm a pilot.
God, we can always count on Miles to
Coming in for the win.
come in hot.
Coming in hot.
Well, it does come in hot and heavy, much like a
Ew.
certain McQuack duck.
Oh boy.
Because apparently he's the thick duck. by Chelsea's standards, he's
Oh
the,
my
which is
God.
accurate. It's an accurate
Not
description.
wrong. But also, he really needs to work on leg day.
Yeah, he is thick.
But
Well, that's what
needs to
she-
work
that's
on
what I
leg day
remember.
because his legs just seem like they're gonna fall out one day from underneath
Yeah,
the weight of his.
he's built like a Dorito chip, you know, like he's.
He is. Dorito duck.
Thank you, Theater Mama. You are correct.
Is Theater Mom in the chat?
Oh, I love it's Chelsea, and she just said, "Oh, I'm on the wrong account." She also spelled right like Rite Aid.
Well, we are in New York, and they're
Sure.
the.
Oh my God.
You know, Rite Aid is a national branch, right?
No, I hadn't seen it until I got here. Yeah.
I can't believe
I mean,
that.
saying "till I got here" is weird because like your family lived in both New Jersey and in Florida, so like.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
but I'm currently not in either of those places. So
True.
I've lived
We're all in New
everywhere.
York. We're all stuck in separate parts of New York.
But being in Florida or being from Florida is kind of, I feel like being like Clickwhistle and being from a different plane because like
Sure.
it Florida and New York are 2 different places. Like, let me tell you.
Very much so.
I mean, yeah, they are.
No, you know what I meant. Shut up. No, Bridget.
You know what I mean?
Also, I feel like it's a function of this show that I'm supposed to cause the irate passions of both our audience and our guests and the co-host, right? Like because honestly, if I'm this inflammatory, the chat just goes fucking wild with you know. So like I feel like I'm doing my due dirty. My do dirty.
My do dirty?
My do dirty.
My do dirty. Oh, Raph is telling us to roll a wisdom save. Quick!
I have no dice, but I'm just gonna say I rolled a 20 because let's be honest, I got
Let's
him.
be honest, I'm wise
So wait,
inside.
Chelsea just said, I won the dragon, I'm in the Fungin, and that should exist forever.
I'm gonna do it.
The Fungin.
Look, once
I'm gonna take the I'm in the Fungin, but put it on a Funyun ring bag, put it on a t-shirt, sell it on
There you
our website, naturaloneshow.com. Check it out.
That's what I was saying. Like, the second
Also,
we have
Chels.
merch is I have the dragon, I'm in the Fungin.
Also, Chels, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a typo, but at the same time, with your track record of,
We're not sure.
I'm not saying that I'm 1,000% sure it wasn't a typo.
Like 1,000%
Ooh, fungal in nature. I'm in.
I mean, she's a druid, so it's possible.
Right.
fungal
Well, that's that.
You've also pissed off Ame because you attacked Chelsea and she's mad.
I didn't attack her. I just, pointed out some discrepancies. So
Everybody in the chat, point out Tyler's.
apparently I've got funny looking hair.
nice.
So
might be nice. Your hair is getting very long though. It's getting there every now and again. Like when you first come on screen on Friday nights, I'm always like, wow.
I mean, yeah, I could.
I don't hate it.
I could let it keep going. I thought about it, but at the
Man
same
bun.
time, no.
Ooh,
Man bun.
What would I don't know.
Actually, you know what, Chelsea?
You in a man bun.
I wouldn't look terrible. I don't think it would look great.
I mean, I'm not saying I'd look like a supermodel, but
I mean, yeah, Miles, when he originally met me, I had longer hair. Like I had fairly long hair, but like.
Yeah.
I want
just gets to a
photographic
point.
evidence.
Right?
There is photographic
When I
evidence.
first met you.
When
Miles
you
just
first met
at me on Twitter with the photographic evidence.
Didn't you have longish hair? I can't remember.
I think so.
Time ago.
I mean, maybe it was like one of the first times I ever went to the West. So
yeah, holy shit.
But I actually appreciate the fact that Chelsea said I have Muppet hair. That actually is a very big compliment to me. Thank you.
He
And
loves the
Ame,
Muppets.
Ame, honestly, I am not as obsessed with the one time you said I had funny hair as the one time you called me a fuckboy. So if we got some issues to work through, that's probably the first one that I need to like have some fighting words with you about.
Ooh,
So,
which can be
like,
discussed next week on Stitch and Bitch.
Oh my god, yeah, next week on Stitch and Bitch.
yeah.
They're gonna drag each other.
Yeah,
It's gonna be the
Stitch and
best.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of dragging, no, I'm kidding.
Dude, yeah, speaking of
How many bodies do you think Clickwhistle could drag at one time?
Well,
0.
She's a smallish bird.
Well, currently 0. She hasn't done it yet, but if she could, she has hands and wings and feet talons. So
true. If anything, the talons might give you a little grip because it will they'll dig in as you pull. I don't know. I think she could only handle one at a time though. She's a rather small bird.
I'll say yeah. You could probably drag one. I mean, because here's the thing.
One at a time.
Well, like
that's why she
grip strength. Grip strength is helpful, but like
drag them.
You're still gonna have any of your actual muscle power is going to be the thing that's going to be able to push, drag, lift any of things. So like. No, if you don't have enough strength, it doesn't matter how good of a grip you have. It's like doing a pull-up. Just because I have the ability to hold on to the bars for a longer time does not mean that I can will my body up through my physical strength. I can't pull myself up my own body weight, so how am I supposed to drag another person's body? It's different. The amount of lift or like the power necessary to do either of those things is different, but like,
I can't do a pull-up, but I've definitely been able to drag people before.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But no, that just shocks me that I'm able to do one but not the other because it really is the same thing, just like...
It's not the same thing.
No.
It uses an entirely different set...
weight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's using an entirely different set of muscles because the thing is when you drag a body, what you're doing is you are using not only your arms, but you're using your stomach, your back, your lower back, your legs... to drag a body. You're using a full body like strength, whereas when you're doing a pull-up, all of that is resting upon your upper body. That's your pectorals, that's the deltoids, like all of the things that are in your arms and partial upper back. That's what's going to pull you up. And I don't know. It's weird. It's like this thing.
I guess it's
like,
because I kick my legs to try to help me get up.
I do the thing that children do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kick hard enough, like get that.
No one said I was an adult. I never have ever. That's not true. I have, but still,
yeah.
I'm not an adult. I do what children do.
Thank you, Ame. It has to be said on stream because she said, "See, I'm defending you," and she is defending me because she agrees with me. So thank you, Ame.
What a queen.
So I think the answer to the dragging the bodies question is 0. She lets them fall where they lay. I mean, she lets them lay where they fall.
Nice.
I just stabbed myself so bad that I am bleeding. There's
Oh no.
blood on camera.
Okay.
She did it.
Very-
Clickwhistle did it.
You can show blood
very
on
metal.
camera. Just don't, get naked or whatever. That's it.
Well, we're not
Aw,
saying
dang.
don't
See,
do
that's
that.
what happens when I bleed, though. It's just the clothes come off. No.
That's usually my natural progression of things too. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I did the thing where like your saliva like helps it.
Congeals the blood.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah. That if we're talking about science and bodies and shit.
Yeah, sure.
That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
How's she going though? How's Clickwhistle going so far, other than
She's
stabbing
not going
you?
super great. Because it's just been beak so far. Beak and eyeball.
Still looks
We're working
great.
on it, though. Slow going.
So you mentioned something in terms of just like earlier. You were talking about just kind of like as you know like as like the question I asked earlier was like as you're playing this character, as you're sort of like discovering new things about her and sort of like different ways that she actually wants to interact with her teammates, what to you feels like a sort of satisfying, if you can say it, you don't have to give too many details, but just like in a general sense, what is like a good satisfying arc for her?
I think
like even if you could speak to something like there's something that she wants to work on and she gets that done, right? Like that, like is there anything that like is a personal journey that she that you think could be a fun thing to try to do?
for her, it's so tough because like she herself as a character is really unsure of where she fits into this world, so it's almost hard to set goals for her. But I think the best case scenario in Clickwhistle's mind is, getting the rogue's dream, just retiring with piles and piles, Scrooge McDuck level of money in in a town with a fancy house and getting to live the life that she perceives as the most comfortable as of now. But I think that might change. I think she's gonna start learning where exactly she stands as like a being herself, because that's the thing, she's still very young. She's like, the Aarakocra reached maturity at like 3, so she's maybe 7 years old, so she's a baby still. She doesn't have any concept of growing old necessarily. She doesn't know what the future holds for her. So I think for now, she thinks that the dream that you're supposed to do, the dream that she was probably told about in the Crimson Dawn, was to retire somewhere with a pile of money and, get everybody to leave you alone. But like, I don't know if that's the thing that she actually wants. I think she's gonna learn as she experiences more of the world around her, and as she interacts with more of the world around her. I think her priorities are going to change, and I think her ult. Yeah,
I can never believe that you're only 7.
With the decisions that I make. I can't believe she's like 14. Like,
I mean, I just believe she's an extremely impulsive adult. You drank, we let you drink and do drugs. Not that we let you, we're not your babysitters or your parents, but like still.
Well, imagine it's like the kobolds. It's a different. It's
not like that at all.
Aging scale.
Growing up.
It's a different.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't live as long.
Yeah,
I know. Don't remind me.
I think Aarakocra only lived to be about 30-ish, 30, 34 years old.
Yeah.
So like her timeline is sped up, but like she's still early on in her timeline.
Yeah.
So
that's good. It means you're stuck with us forever.
Yeah. Nah.
That's certainly
Uh,
the arrangement, is that she's stuck with you, for sure.
yeah, definitely not stuck in here with me.
No, I'm here willingly.
I'm
The
here
last family I
willingly.
had was the worst. Anyone's better than them.
That's true. We haven't tried to kill you yet, so already we've topped the other one.
Exactly.
Is there any hope, right? That like, is there any part of the world that like you of Lorethia, right? That you, I don't want to say that are most intrigued by, like, but what is something that you have heard of over the sessions but haven't been able to go discover that you really hope to?
Ooh. We haven't really talked about it in the sessions, but it's on the map. I want to see what's up with Katsu. Mostly because I do love the chicken dish, but also, I think it would just be really fun to go like onto like a smaller landmass into like a different place. Like I loved being able to go to Taro and then see, you know, Dita and Gleisling, and like I like I want to explore more of the map, and Katsu in particular is just like calling my name. I think it's cool. And plus Raf, our producer, has said that maybe he is a character on Katsu, and I really want to meet him in real life. In D&D life.
In D&D life, yeah.
I'd love to meet
D&D life.
Raph, yeah.
In real life. I stand by my real life comment. But yeah. I think Katsu traveling across an ocean would be cool for Clickwhistle.
That was
She hasn't
like
really
on a
seen
boat?
Like, well, and that's, yeah, like on a boat, like
Yeah.
flying above a boat. Like Clickwhistle's never been on a boat before. She
Sure.
doesn't know what a boat, like, it's not like she doesn't know what a boat is, but like she's
By this point, yeah.
by this point she hasn't been on a boat.
Aw.
I think I think it'd be fun to have some sort of swashbuckling ocean adventure and go to, you know, Katsu, a completely different place, and meet a new character.
Yeah, there's an archipelago as well that like bridges the gap between Isosia and Katsu, which could be fun. Gonorrhea Ocean is also a thing.
Look at your art.
Yeah, just okay, yep.
I'll be
So
selling this on
super.
our website for $5. Just let me know.
So I know that Raph is probably going to say something, so I'll also say it just so you can see it. The inner portions of the S would be the yellow portion.
Oh, I'm aware. But
Okay.
it's my picture and I'm allowed to
Yeah.
draw it
No.
however I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I
Yeah.
had someone tell me, I was like, I
season's a
said
movie.
yeah once, and this person was like, oh, you always say that. I know it's you because you say yeah. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'll just draw on this blank piece of cardboard now.
Oh, they give you like a Bristol board?
I don't know. It looks like it's just a folder, and then it comes with 30 pages, 30 coloring pages.
Wow.
I got it for Hanukkah one year.
Cool.
Speaking of being Jewish earlier.
And now and always.
Speaking of being Jewish then, now, and have been.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to wear my yarmulke. I'll make sure for next time. That way it's blatantly obvious.
Why would you wear a yarmulke?
I'll get my wig too.
Yeah.
Oof.
What are the?
Oofa.
No, that's not a good question. I shouldn't ask that. But
To Bridget or to me?
Yeah, to Bridget. I was like, no, that's not a good question. So I was like, I that's not good. Not like it's a bad question, like get us in trouble. I just didn't like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah. So I mean, so Bridget, you studied at the Royal Conservatory, right? That's what it is, of Glasgow.
It's actually the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland.
Oh,
I actually got
Jesus
yelled
Christ.
Seriously, this is not me being an asshole.
I don't think you're being an asshole. I'm talking about the school being an asshole.
Well, that's the thing. The problem is a conservatory on the British Isles is a place where you keep your plants in your house. Like,
Okay.
A conservatory is not a like thing. It's like a conservatoire instead.
Cool.
Yeah, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in Glasgow. I did.
Hmm.
I did study there.
Do you think any of that is sort of like a helpful tool towards your very like Shakespearean light character?
Yeah. I think so. I think that definitely a lot of her fearlessness comes from that experience because it was a really nerve-wracking experience. Like it was, I had to move overseas for a full year and then live there.
Yeah.
In a country where I knew no one, literally not a soul.
Yeah.
And so, and also like in classes and in like the actual like production side of the Royal Conservatoire, you were expected to go as far as you possibly can on any sort of impulse. So, and if you didn't, then people would be like, you didn't do it again, do it better, do it bigger. And I think that sort of really like solidified, I guess, a sense of like, well, when you're acting, it's you just go as far as you can. You just go as far as you possibly can, and go as big as you possibly can, and do not be scared about the choices that you make. Do not be scared of the consequences of those choices.
And to be clear, when you say go big, it's not necessarily. Yeah, it's not. It's just.
It's not like wah. It's just go for the big emotion. Go for the big answer. Like the trying not to shy away from interactions and
push the entirety of a thing, feel the entirety of a thing. Is that sort of it?
Yeah. Okay. And feel intensely. That's the thing. Feel intensely and follow those very intense sort of feelings.
Did you feel was it more personal? Was it something that was more directed towards you, or was it still through the lens of like, okay, today we're going to be looking at Ophelia, or today we're going to be, or this week we're going to be pushing through into the what are their names, the witches, like from the Scottish play,
from Macbeth.
Yeah. So like, was it? Yeah. Well, yeah, sure, but
I'll run around outside and I won't spit because that's not hygienic. Stay inside, everyone. Coronavirus.
Oh, I mean, you can spit. That's hygienic. You actually should, if you're gonna cough up phlegm, you should spit. Anyway.
Not outside. Not around people.
Anywho, yeah. So was it more self-directed, kind of, when you're talking about going for the big stuff, or was it more focused on like, this character is these things, and that's how you have to find those big emotions? Or was it more of those things where it's like, in your experiences, what can you attach to this character and feel? I guess I'm not trying to say like, how did you perform, but like, do you find that any of that can translate to Clickwhistle, and this idea of just like, what are the things that you resonate with Clickwhistle on, and allow you to feel those things bigger, better, faster?
Stronger.
Stronger. That don't kill me. Well, it was definitely more like focused towards me as like an actor, because I am like a relatively shy, very nervous person, and so vulnerability and going for the big emotions is not something that I do naturally. But so that entire year, I was always being told to like, go for the big emotion, go for the big choices, go, 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 go. And then I get back and I have this character, and it's a character that no one is, paying me to play. So there's no real stakes as far as, making mistakes, going too far. So I applied a lot of that feeling of just go for the biggest possible emotion, go for the big important stuff, and don't be scared of it. And I channeled it through to this character. So I think that's what you were asking. I think
Yeah.
it definitely, affected her and how I play her because it has affected me in how I act. Period. So she was kind of the first character to get the fearlessness treatment.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. She's a good bird. She's a good girl. I like her.
What would you say?
I like her.
Well, you like her, but who does she like? Who are her favorite
You know
party
what?
members? Who are her favorite NPCs?
The bouncer from the Florida Fuller house is her favorite. No.
Yeah, that tracks.
I think she, as far as like party members go, she does kind of tend to gravitate towards Liam a bit, mostly because she has no fucking idea what he's doing on the day-to-day basis, but everything always turns out cool. So like I think she likes to like be around that kind of energy of like, I don't know what's going on, but you make cool stuff, so cool.
Yeah.
And as far as NPCs go, Barlow has certainly gone up in her fucking estimation. Yeah.
No. I have a question. No, I have a question when you're done. That was brought up in the chat, and I must ask, what about an NPC that you've played?
Lilith.
And would you bring her back?
Oh my god! In a heartbeat. Oh, it was so much fun. Fucking Lilith. Yeah, no, Lilith is my favorite NPC. Yeah, God, shoot, that was so much fun to do.
I love.
I mean, technically it's not an NPC.
True.
Well,
that's my favorite player character. Lilith's my favorite player character.
Okay.
But
it was Liam, and then Lilith happened.
Sorry, Liam. Like, look,
got replaced is what you're saying.
Get down with that funky accent, and maybe he'll move up into the first spot again. That was, dude. Lilith was so much fun to do for the voice alone. Like that is my favorite thing to do, is trying to combine accents and seeing what happens. And it was two voices that I can't do. Like, I don't have a good Russian accent, which is why I do it for Clickwhistle, and then I can't do that like like thing that Philip
but it was
very
just
well.
God, it was that right there could have been your Oscar moment.
It was also like, I think the reason why we think of Lilith so fondly is because it came after the two very intense sessions where I was like, I'm gonna have to roll a new character. Like, I was sure. I was so sure that she was just like.
You should never be so sure that you're not going to die when we start playing these games.
Yeah, right.
Nobody in our party should ever be so sure that they're not going to.
No one should feel confident in their.
Yeah.
But we also shouldn't feel confident that we're not gonna die in an episode. Like,
no, that's my point. Is that you should feel confident that it's probably going to happen. It has an eventual date.
True. It comes for all of us.
I don't know. I'm a petty person. Well, I'm not an extremely petty person, but I can be a petty person. I am a pretty princess. Don't get that twisted. But I can be petty when I want to be. And I feel like if you were like, and then this person dies, I'd be like, no. So how do I fix that? Can I just like radiant sunbolt shock their heart to start beating again? Like, how does that work?
Well, what if their heart was ripped out?
I would go rip their heart out. I would punch them and use their heart.
Put back in. And you do the magic.
Yeah, but then they turn into a werewolf. Now they're not the same character anymore. Now they're a completely different thing.
New character, new werewolf.
But yeah, I feel like we should make the move to make a pretty petty princess box art for a new game. Pretty petty princess.
Pretty petty?
It's just a princess sitting there. It's just a princess sitting with like sitting like.
just like
with like the crown dangling from her, like a finger, being like,
this is not my favorite crown.
You brought me the wrong crown.
Well,
Fired. Bye.
Fired. I think the pretty petty princess is just Cusco from Emperor's New Groove. I think we already have a pretty petty princess. I think
we do.
Yeah, the fact that the Disney princess thing never includes like Cusco is just really just a
because
big
he's
letdown.
my favorite Disney princess. Like let's all acknowledge the fact that
like
he's the best
that's the
princess.
thing for me is that it's like growing up there's the Disney princess, but then it didn't have like a different tagline for like the other movies that came out, right? Like Aladdin.
Yeah.
Jasmine is the princess for that, and that's great. I'm in.
Yeah.
But like,
did you
Hercules,
watch the new Aladdin?
Yeah, I did. It's
hot garbage. Hot garbage.
Hard to watch.
Garbage.
Like the entire first song having slow-mo, but the song continues to move at the same pace. It was really weird choices by Guy Ritchie, man. Like that was a weird movie. I liked Will Smith. I'll say that. A bunch of flack got thrown his way because it's like, the genie. And I'm like, I'm all right with it. I love Will Smith. Like I ain't gonna. Will Smith and Keanu Reeves have the same place in my heart, which is basically just that like they'll get shit on for things, or they'll be like this. They'll like get attached to projects and they're like, this can't be good. And then you watch it and I'm like, yeah, but I thoroughly enjoyed their performance, so like I don't care about the rest of it.
You in it.
Like Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is an exact like definition of that kind of a thing. Like the rest of Suicide Squad is a fucking travesty. It is gross, terrible, and awful. But like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and Will Smith as Deadshot. Also, I wish I knew the guy's name. The guy who played Diablo. Those three are just like the shining examples of like, yeah, this is what this made this movie good, which is to say, it made the parts where I like when they were on screen, I didn't want to kill myself, and so I guess that's the same thing
every other time.
That's basically what happened with Aladdin for me, was that it was like so much of this movie is just so bad that like when Will Smith comes on, I'm like, all right, give me my palate cleanser, give me my little Andes mint on my hotel pillow,
my pillow.
Yeah, and I'll and I'll get that in, and then I'll be able to like suffer through the next 30 minutes. So no, it's not good. It's not a good movie, really.
Also, just so you know, the actor you were looking for is Jay Hernandez.
Jay Hernandez, thank you.
Jay Hernandez.
Yeah.
I looked up that name
Junior
recently for some reason. Junior,
it says.
Great.
I think he was in a movie.
He deserves any amount of praise that he gets for that role, because like it was very, very good.
He was on Friday Night Lights.
Okay, cool.
Bad Moms. I'm going through his.
I don't want this to be part of this show now. We gave him the credit. I feel like that's good enough.
You don't want to hear about his personal life, his early life, his career.
Don't need that. I don't need to. This show is not about somebody else's IMDb. We're good.
Speaking of IMDb,
it's about our IMDb.
Bridget,
that doesn't exist.
If Clickwhistle could star in any movie, what do you think it would be?
Oh, she can star in any movie?
Mm-hmm.
The obvious answer is like Ocean's 11. But I don't know. I kind of want her somewhere where she doesn't belong.
Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, she doesn't really belong at Weekend at Bernie's. There's too many secrets in that movie for her to keep. My whole brain is like Pride and Prejudice, but like there's nothing for her to do in there. Like she's
No,
just
honestly,
walking around.
no,
She's
but that's
Elizabeth
the thing.
Bennet.
But that's the thing.
You
That's what
guys
she should
forget,
do.
You know, like you guys, like everybody's being the jerk, but you guys just want to kiss each other. Like I don't know what the big problem is.
So
You're like at the dance. You're like, just dance with her. You're staring at her. What's going
What
on?
do you even think about these? Like what the hell? You own half of Lincolnshire, you ass hat. Like, go dance with a nice lady.
apparently, she's also replacing Bartok in Anastasia.
That's where I got her accent from. That is.
I know it is.
The level of British accent I have.
That was one of our phone calls.
Yeah.
And we're getting some other listings. There's like Shape of Water, The Artist.
Oh, Shape of Water. She would do terribly in
Land
The
Before
Artist.
Time.
She could beat a silent movie.
Little Mermaid.
The Danish Girl.
The Danish Girl. Raph said he's going to be controversial and say Cats. And
Cats. Oh God, that's dangerous for her. No, she would probably kill She would kill those tap dancing fucks.
Ame said Clickwhistle as. Ame said Clickwhistle as August Rush. Yeah, Chris is saying Titanic.
Yes. Oh my God,
you could play Annie.
But the first one,
Clickwhistle is Annie.
Oh my God.
the first one that got said the most was Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh, of course, dude. She would fully lead a bird-based revolution in 1950s America. The bird. That's the thing. It's like it's the birds, but from the birds' perspective.
So we doing this thing? We flying? We
flying?
Well, what if they were just having a normal day? Right? Like, what if those birds were actually just sort of like, we're having a normal day, and then this lady starts freaking out by how often they fly by her, right?
I know. It's just like, look, we like sitting on telephone lines. It's what we do. We are birds. We are the birds. Or like they're having a normal day, and Clickwhistle whips them into
into a fervor.
Into a murderous rage. They're just like, we need her to stop talking. Quickly, kill the humans. But yeah, I like all of these, except like I don't know what you would do in The Little Mermaid.
Well, there's that one. There's the seagull.
True, that she would just be Scuttle's best buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. your weird fish friend.
You could be in Finding Nemo.
She could relate a lot to Ariel though, because like, you know, she's a fish-tailed woman in a world of legs, and she's a person-sized bird in a world of people.
Oh yeah, it would also be her favorite person because Ariel can't say shit, so Clickwhistle will just do all the talking.
Clickwhistle does all the talking, and all of it's bad.
Well,
we should have an episode where Clickwhistle loses her voice and must do everything through body language, and see how important that truly is.
She got the Kenku fever, and she just sort of like gets all bird noisy.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like if she ever turned into a Kenku, I think she'd still be fairly annoying with with what she learned to say.
I see.
Probably. I think. She turned into Kenku.
I don't know.
I think. I'm trying to like picture like the situations that we've had, and if I wasn't able to say the thing that I said, probably would have gone a little better.
Sure. I mean, yeah, some of this is like, here's my question. What confuses you about playing a rogue, and why are you so bad at D&D?
Hey!
That's a question I've asked everyone! I have asked everyone that same question. This is the joke question.
The reaction should always be the same. Hey. I'm bad at playing
because next week
I'm bad at detail.
I was also gonna say I'm sorry. I want you to say that again. Because next week. I want you to say that again louder and slower. Because next week, Miles and Ame get to ask me that question. Why am I such a bad DM? Why am I so bad at DMing D&D? That's That's the point. Is that we'll eventually get there, and I'll be able to answer it. But I'm sorry, you were saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the thing that confuses me a lot about playing rogues is sneak attack. Sneak attack gets me every time. I never really know when I have it and when I don't have it. Most of the time, I just am like, and my sneak attack, and wait for any sort of confirmation from anybody. But I myself I'm a little iffy on detail sometimes. Like I have a very scattered brain, and I'll forget things that I should know.
Yeah, like if a person has a mechanical hand or not.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah. Maybe that was one important thing that I might have forgotten.
And you also had a paper that told you yes or no on that?
I didn't have it in front of me, in my defense.
That's not a defense!
It was in my folder.
That's not You're playing the game! You were actively playing the game, and the information is somewhere, and you just didn't have it in front of you.
That's the thing. Well, it's hard, because it's very hard to try to remember things when you're trying to remain fully in the moment. Like, the whole thing is being, really present in what's happening. So, she'll forget shit,
Sure.
It's hard to stay fully in the moment when you're trying to remember all of the shit from the past, too. But
I get you.
Yeah,
I get you.
so I think that
the bad at D&D thing is not legit. I'm asking more about the rogue stuff. So why is it that you get confused about sneak attack?
I'm not sure, because it sounds straightforward. It's mostly I think in the moment of combat, and getting excited about that. It's when do you find this too, Jackie? Please back me up. Is in the moment of content,
combat?
Conflict. I've had combat. Thank you. I've had a total stroke. In a moment of combat, you get really excited about what you're about to do, and then the rules go out the window. And sneak attack, I always just forget that it's there, or I forget how it works. It's my weird Achilles heel.
See, I'm so terrified of combat that I forget what I'm able to do.
Yeah, because it's nerve-wracking, but it's you want to pull the cool stunt.
Yeah. But
it's
then when he's
your main ability!
Wait, hang on. I my whole computer froze, so I missed
You're good.
that.
I still see it.
All I got was ability.
It's your main ability.
That's all I got.
It's your main ability.
It's my main ability, and yeah.
It's very simple. It's one of those things where it's I find it funny because it's it's your main one, so it's more. Okay. Yeah. So basically, just to say it here, the two important things to think about when it comes to sneak attack are: do I have advantage on this attack, or is one of my allies within 5 feet of it? And if either of those questions has an answer of yes, then you get your sneak attack.
Yeah. No, I know, but I will always forget it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've read it 1,000 times because I'm always don't forget about sneak attack. Hey, remember sneak attack? Right. That thing that you have, that sneak attack? Remember it? Yeah.
Well, no, moving on to another question. What would you? I mean, you've already answered this, but that was a quick answer, and it was on somebody else's time. So I feel like it's a thing that you have to answer now, truthfully, for the first time with an actual. I mean, at this point, you've had 4 weeks. Answer. 5 weeks to think about it. So to say you don't know anymore would be akin to not knowing what sneak attack does. So
God, you are so spicy today,
what?
Tyler.
It's just coming to me in waves. It's just hitting on a very good track right now. But legit, what is? It's time for the kink question.
Ew.
Yeah. What's that bird person kink?
I still stand by the thing that like romance is probably not something like there's nothing here that interests Clickwhistle exactly. So I'm
Wait till she
gonna
meets a turtle person. You know, like the.
Oh damn! That's the turtle and the raven.
Mm-hmm.
That offspring would be a very interesting.
Also,
one.
it already sounds like a Lewis Carroll poem.
Yeah, like the the raven and the turtle, the raven
Yeah.
and the tortoise, a legend in 4 parts. I think her kink. I think it is like really good rogue stuff. Like when I said before, like knives. I think it's less of like the knives themselves that are her kink. But if someone does something really fucking cool with a dagger or something, she'll be like, "Oh my."
So she had a. Do you
like?
So would you say she had a heart?
Like if they throw something and make it like really cool and like.
So
if
like
they
that other
make it really-
assassin that almost killed Thaddeus Brogg. Did you just have like?
Oh yeah.
Do you think
She was
she
just
had like a?
oh, tasty hits. More please. I think there is a certain level of admiration for the stabbing that went on, even though most of the stabbing was stabbing into her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she
Stop
can,
it, Daddy. Stop.
I know, Daddy. My safe word is Kokomo. But yeah, I think her thing is like cool stunts. Like if something crazy works out, if someone does a job well done, if someone pulls a crazy stunt, just like, So maybe physical prowess is her thing.
Yeah, she likes the
She likes
feats
the
of.
powerful partner.
Yeah. Okay.
It's great because we as people, before we start streaming, will say some really weird, horny shit, and then it's like we go to the game, we meet someone, and we're like, "Hi,
Yeah.
did you know that the letter B comes after the letter A?" Like,
Hey.
The amount of times you guys find the stupidest things to like, ow about is.
no,
Crazy.
you just don't find the beauty in it. You set it up. It's because you set it up so beautifully.
It is true. You give us the tools, we just use them
Mm-hmm.
poorly and in the wrong fashion.
But I also love that we've all had this kink question. Half of us were like, no, I don't think we have one. But then it's like the moment we meet someone described as attractive, we're like, hi, which one of my friends
Hello.
would you like to have sex with?
Which one?
Like you and Chelsea were like, here's this snake. Go for it.
I was very proud of the wing manning that we did for Set Lolly. It was I rewatched that scene again because I'm trying to find clips for our channel, and I was like I rewatched that scene again, and just the look on your face was like, oh boy, it was just so good. The way we're so bad at it that we're.
I don't think I ever intended for this show or for our game in general to get as thirsty as it does, but for whatever reason, it just happened, and I'm like, I just like the amount of time that's spent on it. I'm just like, do we need to be playing a different game?
In my defense, Setlolly kind of is cool with happy with for Liam and Nerith, but really I wasn't physically present when we first met Nerith. Mm-hmm. So when I met him for the second time, everyone else had already kind of decided it was like a thing.
All right, Chelsea. Ame and Chelsea.
We needed somebody to hook up with the hot boy, though. Like, technically, you give us a Drano. We're like,
Setlolly hasn't really been like, hey, go to. Setlolly's just like chilling. Setlolly got put in a really awkward position.
I don't know about that. You have then since actively asked Miles or Liam to go and hang out with him. So
well, yes, but like I wouldn't say that Setlolly's like, go do this, haha. It's like, hey, tell me about this guy that you're kind of like being cute with. Like,
Ame said that I'm the one that made the thirst trap, and I'm like, I don't feel like that's what I did. I feel like I made it very basic and simple, and I certainly did not go into as much detail as she is claiming I did.
Oh my god, his abs are rippling as the light shines up each ab, meaning that he's lit from below.
Yeah.
No, my favorite is watch his muscles rippling while he lifts his hammer.
He also has sexy accents.
His hair and his eyes would shine brighter than diamonds. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So that's an excerpt from our book, Nerith, coming out on our website.
I think this means that Nameless has written fanfic of Liam and Nerith. I think this is ripped directly from the pages.
Panther's gonna come out of her room and be like, "What is this? What is this boat book?"
Young lady.
You guys think Panther would be? You guys think Panther would be a prude? Dude's a Panther.
Yes, because I don't
know.
Yes,
I feel like Panther is a little bit more like, I don't care what you do, but like I think in his heart he's a little bit like, my daughter.
I think at some point,
Panther voice either.
I mean, granted, you're the one that gets to make the decisions about Panther because
true, you're Panther.
You play Panther, but like, I feel like at some point, if you decide to do this, it's just me thinking how I would play Panther. That at some point I would just be like, well, excuse me, I was her dad, but like I wasn't her dad, so now I'm gonna overcompensate and be too much of her dad.
He's super dad.
Yeah. And then she's gonna be like,
this is the thing, he's just cooler than that.
Well, yeah. Look, I've never had a dad, so I don't know.
I mean, that's not true.
She says, having spoken to her father earlier today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, no.
We have proof of dad.
He's becoming a bartender.
I have one final question as we go into our last little part of our show. I kind of want to end it on a well, we'll end it on a different note, but like I want to ask one last question, which is what about the world do you like? So I already asked like where you might want to go, but are there things in this in Lorethia, right? Like, are there things that like Clickwhistle is fascinated by? Like, what do you think is like her biggest question of this place? Like what like holds her up? What keeps her awake at night?
Ew.
Keeps her awake at night. I think Ark is her new thing. I think that is the craziest shit that she has ever seen in her entire 7 years of birdie life. Like, I think, because that's the thing, it's like, in the beginning, she was just like, so are we taking the robot? And everybody was like, no, they're people. And it's just like, but all the other things made out of metal.
Yeah, all the other tits are made out of metal. Yeah.
I was gonna say Tin Men. All these other tits are metal, so why aren't they? No, but like I think she.
It's bird slang.
It's bird slang. These tits. It's very derogative in bird language. But I think she's fascinated by like the actual like mechanical shit because she likes shiny stuff anyway. She likes shiny stuff and she likes shiny stuff that moves. So from that alone, I think she was particularly fascinated by that sort of thing. And then now there is a walking, talking, sentient metal thing. And I don't think she quite understands how that works yet.
Sure.
And
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to like doing a couple of scenes with Ark. Cause like I want to see, I think she's curious about what he can bring to the team. Like he said he's tagging along and that's fine and dandy and all, but like she wants to see what he can do. Pangolin can turn into a motorcycle. What can you do? And yeah, so I think it's like
so you're gonna just start comparing him.
This is a whole thing for comparison. Like literally, she's like, "All right, so he can turn into a motorcycle. What's your thing, Ark? Oh, you have cannon hand. Cannon hand is pretty good, and also you can own inns. Pangolin can't own an inn.
Maybe not
Well,
yet.
that we know of.
Yeah, maybe not yet.
No, we know. Yeah, that's true. He hasn't
Yeah.
tried yet.
Miles is gonna
But,
tinker
I know
an
that
inn
Miles
for
furiously
Pangolin.
taking notes. Like, oh, okay, no, yeah, you're right. Pangolin hasn't made it in yet, and
And I do that next
so
session.
yeah, I think Ark. I think Ark is her new curiosity about the world. She wants to learn. She's
Well,
curious.
I get it.
A curious bird.
Well, we're gonna start wrapping up our show here.
Woohoo!
First off, just
Father.
want to thank everybody for stopping by, leaving
Yay.
comments, ridiculing me. There's only so many things that I want out of my life, and that is sort of chief among them. Is an audience that knows how to make me feel. Pop quiz.
Ah!
Bridget. Pop quiz time.
Okay.
Okay.
It's my least favorite time.
Isn't it?
Yes, it always
That was your question. Is it?
Is it?
Is it or isn't it?
Is it?
It's a
Well, because what I said was,
metaphor.
isn't it? So it was going to be a very fun answer, because then, trick questions. How many rooms were in Mayor Stolta's manor?
Ooh, how many rooms? How many rooms did we go into, or how many rooms in general?
I'll say the latter. Sorry, how many rooms did you go into, I think is a fairer question.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
like,
we went into,
if there was a room that you didn't know about, then, yeah, I'm not going to count those.
yeah, like, I didn't know if it was, like, this is a 12-bedroom house, or, like, you were like, how many rooms did you go in? Is the treasure pit underneath it technically a room?
Is it?
Or is that part of the tunnel system? Because it has 4 walls and a ceiling, so I'm counting it. Treasure room, his office, the front office, the foyer, the 1 bedroom that I was like, I lost him, and you were like, he's just behind the door. The dining room. So, hang on, I've lost count.
You have fingers.
Yes, well, that was the thing. I kept tapping one finger, and I was like, oh, that's not. I swear to God, I'm smart in normal circumstances. Everybody, it's not. Just
this is also a dumb question. This is like, when I do pop quiz questions, I just think of like the worst questions. That's why it's a pop quiz. Yeah, like the worst ones. Like
the worst and weirdest.
Yeah, you said 6.
Yeah, 6. Are you counting them? Did you not have the answer prepared?
No, I had the answer prepared.
Okay.
8. 8 is the answer.
8.
Yeah. You have the gold room downstairs. You have his office.
Right.
You have the outside worker's office.
I said the front office. Yeah.
Yeah. You have the foyer. You have the kitchen, and you have the dining room, and you have not the kitchen. Sorry, the kitchen was part of the dining room. So the dining room, and then you have the bedroom, but there's also a room that separated the bedroom. There's like a waiting room outside the bedroom.
Extra little front room in front of the bedroom. I forgot the powder room.
Yeah.
Bummer. Hey, but it's close though.
It's close.
So 7. You were close.
Yeah.
Close. 7.
Close.
6 out of 7. That's not. That's a passing grade. That's good enough for government work.
Yeah, I know, Chelsea. She didn't go into the kitchen. Yes, I understand. She's racing to the rescue. Like, how dare you?
I swear to God.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, this is just like the fun part of it, you know? Like, it's not fun. Pop quizzes aren't fun. Whoever thought the pop quizzes were fun?
It's horrifying.
Well, me,
Every single
because I
time.
paid attention in class too much.
I didn't like pop quizzes.
We never really had them. The Pennsylvania school system isn't like the best. So like we had a lot of standardized tests. We didn't have a lot of pop quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Sounds about right for Florida.
Pop quiz. Bridget,
Ah! Yes.
what is the name of a family that originally gave Philip's father the shield and war pick for his journey into the Hells?
The Pavarish. Right? No, it's not right! Isn't it? Yeah.
I'm just laughing at your reaction to your own answer.
I'm terrified. The silence is awful.
Just say it with confidence.
The Pavarish. I did say it with confidence.
Because you're
With
correct.
confidence, and then I immediately backed out of it.
Yes,
This is what I'm talking about the being fearlessness thing. This is
Yeah.
just regular
No,
Bridget.
you were
I'm
correct, but you
operating
went
at a
them,
level of
right?
Yeah.
Like, he can't
Yeah.
tell you that. So say it and then
Yeah,
get told
I
you're
said
wrong.
Pavarish. The Pavarish.
That's correct.
Yay.
Uh,
I was like, wait, is it a completely different family?
No.
No, because it's the Rubicon, the Rovac, the Pavarish, the Frettifillers.
Yeah.
And there's another family that I'm forgetting the name.
So the Rubicon and the Rovacs are part of the four pillars. The Pavarish was a very
Right.
small clan that had just
A big
I know,
small
that got
clan.
destroyed. Yeah, a big
Yeah.
small town.
Yeah.
No, I remember them.
Thorgils.
Yeah, I actually know
Thorgils
this
are also
information.
on the councils and stuff. So
Right.
that's the other one. This is what I was going to say. Is that Thorgil would be
is
the
the
other one.
other-
Yeah, like
the
if
other
you were
one.
to talk about like ones that you guys actually met and like have hung out with, then yeah, like the Thorgils would
Yeah,
also be
because
in
there's an
there.
extra one that we haven't had any contact with, right?
There's a bunch of them that you haven't had a lot of contact with.
Yeah.
The whole council of Ulankart is like 12 different families. So
Right. I was like,
And he named all of them.
yeah, of
did.
course I did. You guys ask for names all the time.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I was just saying. He named all of them.
Many
Right.
NPCs.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Anyway, thank you all for watching our show. This has been Stitch and Bitch. If you want a show that deals with this kind of stuff all the time, then
Thank you.
continue to watch us every Thursday at 7 p.m. We will be starting next week. I will be actually on camera, and I will be joined by Ame and Miles from their apartment. We'll be able to do that as Bridget goes off and does something. I can't remember. What are you doing next week?
I'm doing a create your own adventure improv charity campaign with Fabled 42.
Nice.
So it's that's filming on Thursday. So I have to be there, but I will miss everybody.
Mhm.
And I will watch
As much as you can.
because as much as I can. Well, like after the fact.
Right.
I'm always a person that's like I never watch it on time. I always watch it after the fact.
Well, thank you for watching. Just know that next Wednesday, we will still be having our next episode of The Natural Ones as well. That'll be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, or I guess I should say Eastern Daylight Savings.
No.
Is it
I
daylight
hope you have a
savings
good
again?
evening. It's still Daylight Savings.
We haven't.
What do you mean
gone
again?
back.
We haven't fallen back
it
yet.
happens a lot.
It's not
It
fall
happens
yet,
every
so we
year.
haven't fallen back.
One time a year, it happens.
2 times a year.
And then we
fall
wait.
back and
Times a
spring
year.
forward.
Because it happens
No.
in spring.
Oh my god. The point is
Spring
we
forward, fall
only
back.
do daylight savings once and then we go back. So that's not the same thing. Anyway,
Guess
Good
what
night,
this is
everyone.
Information I don't need. Good night, everybody.
Good night.